as we Good morning. You see that intro though? You see why I was trying to see what I'm saying? See why I was trying to make it happen, why I was trying to get it done. Okay. I need you to understand
I
why I was
did.
making it. Yes. Good morning, everybody out
Good
there.
morning.
Thank
Good
y'all so much for
morning.
joining us. I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host Takia Ross, who
Good
is in
morning.
Korea right now. Woo-woo.
I am in Korea, and it is 10 p.m. No,
And so tell the people, Joey, I see you. I'm gonna bring you up in a second. So tell the people why you're in Korea.
hey, so I'm in South Korea, and I'm having some business meetings. So I do, of
Come on,
course.
I'm having some business meetings.
I,
Period.
I am.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
having some business meetings. Um, as we've discussed, I do own a cosmetics brand, Kiki Thunder Cosmetics, and as we look to expand and evolve, one of the things is finding our manufacturing partners and finding who we source our products from, who we want to work with, and of course, do some research. South Korea is really well known for their skincare and their beauty products. They're actually tearing the fur off the beauty market right now with their beauty formulations. And so it's only right that I come and have some business meetings here in South Korea with some major manufacturers and to learn more about how they're positioning themselves in such a global market as such a small country. Like it's a small country, but they are a conglomerate when you think about the businesses that are coming out of South Korea. So that's why
I
I'm here.
mean, we all trying to get Korean skincare. Let's keep it on
Yes.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, for real. So, I'm hoping for some Kiki Thunder under eye patches for black folks with pigmented under eye because nobody has figured that out. Okay. I have tried, I ain't gonna name the folks, but I've tried a bunch of folks and
Mhm.
nobody can
Mhm.
figure out for us for
Yes.
pigmented skin
Yes.
how to lighten the under eye. It's like
Yes.
I done looked into everything I could look into,
Yeah.
and I use Tatcha for my skincare now.
Okay. I like Tatcha.
Yeah, I like them a
Good
lot.
skin.
But I think what
Mhm.
I'm
Good
figuring
skincare.
out is
Mhm.
that anywhere, child, don't get me on my skincare routine. Let me get
Okay.
Joey up here before we
Okay.
get to, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Get
Because
Joey.
it's Memorial Day.
Yes.
Shout out to everyone that served our country. Thank you so
Yes.
much for your service.
Yes.
But I want to. It's funny. Is what Joey wants to talk about is digestion, food. I want to hear. But I'm hungry right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And so I we need to have this
I'm not.
conversation. And I
I'm
think in
not.
our community, for sure, we need to talk about food, we talk about eating, we talk about weight.
Mhm.
But I don't think
Mhm.
we talk enough about digestion. And I mean, like he's not purely going to talk about digestion. Okay,
Mhm.
he got a whole
Mhm.
company and all that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
But coming to the stage, okay,
Yes.
everybody show a lot of love for Joey from
Joey.
Joey LaFaro from Joey's Pies. Okay,
I love.
we got to hear all about Joey's Pies. Come on,
Listen,
Joey.
I need a little Joey pie right
You
now.
know what I'm
Morning.
saying? Good
Can y'all
Good
hear me
morning.
morning.
okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're in Cancun on a trip. The only reason I was off today. So I was like, I gotta kind of get on with y'all while I'm down here, while I'm away from work for a few minutes.
Oh wow! So you
Yeah.
living it up? Okay, Joey's Pies must be doing all right.
Oh, we're just getting started. We're just getting
Okay,
started. So we
okay,
haven't
okay.
officially opened yet. Right now, we're about to have our first tasting for our specialty pies on June 13th. We're gonna have some people come by and try to give us some feedback on like, hey, not just like the toppings they like, but like, hey, have you ever been to a pizzeria and they had all the specialty pies, the pies that are like, got some
Mm-hmm.
crazy name, maybe some weird toppings and stuff. So we have some stuff that we've already kind of drawn up as a menu, and then we're gonna have people come by, try them, tell them if they feel comfortable with the price point. Because unfortunately for me, the cost trying to make pizza with good quality is very high, and so I'm trying to make sure I can
Mm.
keep it affordable but make it worth everybody's time. So we're trying to get some feedback early on that, and we're
I
hoping to
love
go to
that.
market sometime in July.
Well, let's back up a step because I want to make sure we get the story out, right?
Yeah.
Um, for your bio, you sent me. Joey is a guy with a passion for food who hit a digestive brick wall by his late 30s. He decided to innovate instead of isolate and created Joey's Pies to bring what he learned to help as many people as he could. So I wanna talk a little bit about what your journey was, like what your story was to get to this place to create this company.
So, couple factors. One, I'm Italian, half Italian, quarter Lebanese, so food has always been a thing in my family. We don't teach each other anything. Everybody's self-taught. So it's kind of like, push you out the nest, try to figure it out. But I've always had a passion for cooking. It's always been a big thing for me. But hit a brick wall with being able to really eat out. After I had right around my 30th birthday, I was in the hospital for a week. They thought I might have an
Mm.
infection. Didn't end up having one, but they pumped me full of IV antibiotics. And if you don't know already, that means it just completely destroyed the bacteria that live in your gut. Completely wrecks it, makes it impossible to
Mm.
digest things properly. So I went from, growing up on pasta, ravioli, pizza, and all these things to now I can't eat none of them, right? All the commercial produced pasta and wheat, um, now it started becoming where like yeah, I could eat it, but like it was gonna wreck me for a couple days. I was gonna have a digestive hangover. I was gonna have a lot of inflammation. I was gonna feel sluggish and tired for several days after. Pizza was a trifecta, right? You got carbs, you got tomatoes, and you got dairy. All three of them was really difficult. I used to have to really pick my battles. Plan to uh, I got married in 2023,
Oh,
and on our
congratulations.
honeymoon, thank you. On our honeymoon, we went overseas for our honeymoon, and on the flight, I saw Stanley Tucci's show where he goes around Italy and he's visiting the different. It kind of just reignited everything for me. So I got back and I started cooking, and I started making pizza just to see if I could. And then I found out was if I make it myself, it's fine. And so what I started
Mm.
realizing was it's not the food, it's the ingredients, it's where it's coming from. So way more attention to, and I started looking into it. As I learned more and more, fermentation matters a ton. Like all the commercial, like even if, with pasta, even the way they dry it matters. Like if they, and commercially, they dry it very quickly. It affects the way it holds sauce. It affects the way your body can break it down. It's really not good for that. For dough, for any bread of any kind, if you don't proof it properly and let the yeast do the hard work for you, that's more gluten. So it's all this gluten sensitivity stuff. A lot of people don't actually have celiacs. It's just that our commercially processed stuff has additional fillers and all these other irritants in it. Plus plus they're not fermenting the dough properly because they're rushing it. It takes time. Time is an ingredient. That was the biggest thing I learned.
Time is an ingredient. I love that.
That's a good
So
one.
That's a
so we
good
try to
one.
we're trying to put that back into the food. So everything that I'm doing with Joey's Pies is all about, hey, look, let us take the time, put the time in. We're gonna whether that's buying an ingredient where someone's put the time in, or we put the time in ourselves. So our dough takes like 3 days. We have to, first day is we do it's called a poolish, where we do a pre-fermentation. You let the yeast get a head start basically. Then you mix in the flour, then we do a bulk proof where we proof all the dough and then we cut it into dough. So it's like a three-step process, and it really lets the yeast do the hard work for you, and that leads to a very tender, airy crust that's got an amazing flavor and amazing smell. But it's also easy to digest, and we've been, doing a lot of pilot runs the last year or so. Everybody I talk to, I always ask them, "How do you feel the day after? How do you feel the day after?" Like, I didn't even feel nothing. And these are the people who like tell me I have issues. Like I specifically ask people who I know have problems. I'm like, hey, try this. Only use San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. That's a protected product. We make sure we get the right label. It has the right label on it. And we use smoked mozzarella in all our pies.
Mm. And now I'm hungry.
Sorry,
You understand what I'm saying? That now,
I hear
now,
you.
Joey, I'm hungry. Okay.
Okay. Well,
But
here's
I
the good
want
thing. When we go to market, we're doing these are take and bake. They're frozen take and bake. If you preheat your oven, it takes 5 minutes to go from frozen to cook. And it's like it came out of the oven at the restaurant.
when now look at you. Now I'm stalking you about pizza because you know that I can't eat the cheese. The dairy gets me every time. And I'm so thankful that you brought that up because that's a lot of what we're being told, right? When you go to the doctor for a lot of medical reasons, right? That you they diagnose you with some rare form of something, right? And then you're on medicine that you have to take for the rest of your life. When in reality, like it was, don't eat tomatoes from the market. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like those types of things. So I wonder, as you went through this, like, how did you really start to hone in, on like these are my triggers, right? And
Um,
this is what's triggering my consumer as we go about that.
it really just came to learning, as I learned to cook different dishes, and I love Italy. Like I love everything that comes from there. So I started using more imported stuff, and I realized that that wasn't an issue I had. It was more just like knowing where the source of the food came from started mattering
Mm,
more because and it's not saying, oh, Italy's the greatest. It's Europe bans a lot of things the U.S. doesn't ban in the food production from it, be it a pesticide, be it something else. A lot of people I also saw in comments when I was looking, I consumed a ton of information about dough because prior to this process, I had never baked a damn thing. The the stuff that I saw people say in the comments was like, "Oh, I can only do European gluten," and I was like, "What?" And then I found out that's not really a thing. But what is a thing is the stuff, genetically modified stuff in the wheat, the stuff that we put in the soil, the wheat consumes. A lot of times, with things, the biggest difference is that the stuff that's not on the label, which is the stuff that the plant ate. What was in that soil? What was around it when it consumed it? And especially with things like tomatoes and onions that are very water heavy. They're drinking what's there, right?
right, right,
Um,
right, right.
and it totally changes the profile of the food. There's an onion
Mm,
that grows in the south of Italy that you could eat like an apple because it's so sweet and it doesn't have any of
really?
the eye burn or whatever. And it's because of the soil it grows in near the ocean. It's only one specific area. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
that a lot. Stanley Tucci's show taught me a lot of this, but
Mm-hmm.
there's the geography matters, right? When
Yes.
you're growing a certain produce, grow better in certain conditions. And all the commercialization we have in the US leads to a lot of, hey, let's make this grow here, and it's not meant to.
Right.
And when
Right.
they
Right.
do that, the stuff that they put in there to make that happen isn't always natural. So the sourcing matters.
Mm,
And then just knowing like, hey, look, tomatoes are a nightshade plant. Most nightshades are poisonous, right? So you have to understand how to prepare them in a way that's going to be beneficial for you. So better quality tomatoes, but don't eat the seeds. Tomato seeds are an irritant because they're supposed to go through you. They're not supposed to go in you. Like the whole point of a seed is to be eaten and pass out the other side, right? Um, there's that's just biology of like why plants are like that, right? They want the fruit to be eaten, but they want you to leave the
mm-hmm.
seeds behind so that the next plant grows. The skin is another thing that's harder to digest. So when you get tomatoes, if you're gonna make a sauce, peel them first. That's a easy factor. So I think our when we get the San Marzano tomatoes, they're already peeled because they come canned, but that saves a step. So that's another place where you can kind of save that. And then, pairing that with just a good like minding your own gut biome by like taking prebiotics and making sure you're getting that in your diet, avoiding things like alcohol too much or some fake sugars can be also irritants. Those type of things. And just minding that balance. We consume a lot more carbohydrates in the modern day than ever had happened during our evolutionary period. So, like the amount of sugar we get fed on a daily basis is crazy compared to what our bodies were designed to do.
Wow.
Everything that you were just expressing, one, thank you for breaking it down to us. Is there
Mm-hmm.
so many there's so much nuance to food, right? And then you have companies just trying to package it and scale,
Mm-hmm.
package scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the idea that
And
like
market
they'll be
label
all
you.
right. They'll be all
They want
right.
to. They'll do one health thing. Be like, look, we did the health thing. Oh, this is low carb. They don't put. You turn the label over, and it's like, hey, here's all this stuff you can't pronounce on how they did made that food that food. And that's not healthy for you.
Mm.
And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
But here's the
Mm-hmm.
kicker though, and I have to ask you this as a business owner, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
let's have a straight up conversation about this because I think too, to kill you'll understand this too, is like
Mm-hmm.
we might get into business with all the organic thoughts, and then you get to production, then you get to serving customers, then you get to trying to also join this this train of competitors that are making this stuff, and then you find, and I just want to, I really want to be transparent about this because I feel like this is a part of the conversation that we don't have. And then you find like, oh, that's why they did it that way. That's why it couldn't be as organic, or that's why it couldn't be because the level of money that it costs to mass produce it, or to even help the customers understand the
Mm-hmm.
nuance because the shelf life
Yeah.
is different, right? So everybody's been conditioned around the terrible habits that we've been fed for so long. And not, no pun intended with the food part, I'm just saying literally we just been socialized
Yeah,
around
Mm-hmm.
commercialism. And so you get that body butter and it starts separating in a couple of days. You're like, this ain't no good. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to buy that no more. It's spoiled. You know what I mean? Or you get to these, you get to the counter. You like, why is this $20 when I can go over the street and get it? How do you navigate? And I mean, you might be new at it, and I'm asking both of y'all this too, I guess, because Takia, I know that you have been doing these products for a while, and Joey, I know you may be newer getting into this. But like, how do you navigate those? At this moment, I don't have a product based company, but I had a product based company before, but it was t-shirts. That's a little bit more easy to navigate. You know what I mean? So with things that have ingredients, what, Joey, maybe what's your plan for, or to get how, for both of you, how do you
Mm-hmm.
actually navigate that for people out there who may have product based companies? They're also like, we get it, we want to be more organic, we want to be more healthy, we want to be able to share this level of education with our customers and share this level of education with the world and provide good for you things and the industry. How did, yeah.
I'm gonna flip it to Joey first because
okay.
Joey got no because like food is so we need it, like we need
Yeah,
it to
yeah.
live, to survive. So
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like I cracked some code on pizza that hasn't been cracked already. Pizza's been around for centuries, and the fact that there's so many, like, why would I try to like start a new pizza business in 2026 and act like it's going to be some revolution or something? I don't think that that's never been my goal. My goal was, hey, look, I don't want to work for somebody else forever. And I was like, but I did want to provide an experience that would make me happy. And I wanted to share
Mm-hmm.
that experience. That's a bigger part of it for me. Like, as long as I have enough money for family to survive and we're able to provide people like that, I didn't even like, I want them to have a great experience. Like, I just want to be near an ocean where I can see the ocean. I want to make pizza and maybe have a little arcade, so that the kids can experience what I experienced growing up. And, when we went to the beach and had that fun little moment, have that memory. That's all. I don't need 10 shops or be in every store. Like, that's not the goal.
mm-hmm.
And if, as I've gone through it, the take and bake model seems to be how we're going to function initially to just build the functional pizza business in terms of selling straight pizzas. Eventually, if I ever have a brick and mortar, I'm going to pick one spot. It's not going to be a whole bunch of these places all over the place. You know, um, I care more about sharing that love with people. Food's about love. Like, that's my love language. Like, that's all I care about. So for me, as a financially, I if it doesn't work, I don't like. I'm gonna stop because I can't. But I'm gonna try and do my damnedest to do it the right way for the right reasons. I'm not like I hate what capitalism does to us in America, where everything's about making money, and it can't just be about, hey, I just want to get by, and if I can do what I love and get
Mm.
by, that is plenty.
Where
That is
where are you
plenty.
based?
I'm based outside DC, right outside Capitol Heights, Maryland.
Okay.
Mm,
You know what?
mm-hmm.
I do want to come back to the product conversation, but I want to double tap here for a minute because I think Takia, we've had some of these conversations
Mm-hmm.
around like, people just be on this like I need to make all the money I possibly
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
remember you saying to me like, actually, like I just want to make, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh yeah, I think we need to have that, especially in this climate where
Mm-hmm.
people are losing their
Mm-hmm.
jobs left and right. So,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, I remember being laid off and be like, I'm never going back to work for anybody. I'm gonna do everything I could possibly do. So I completely resonate with what you're saying. And I think that like right now that messaging is loud for people more than ever
Yes.
in history
Mm-hmm.
that like, look, I want to build my thing and I'm trying to get this money so I
Mm-hmm.
can be, and enough can be measured by whatever you feel like enough is.
Yes.
I think
And I
that's the
think
kick.
that's the key.
I want to
That's the
build a
key,
community. I
Omi.
want to help my community. We live in a food desert. We have at least 20 minutes to get to a grocery store. We're lucky enough to have a car to do it. Like a lot of people who live near us don't, and the nearest grocery store being that far away is crazy. And like having good quality food on top of that, because a lot of the grocery stores in our area aren't run that well. And a lot of the produce is half rotten when you get to it. Um, I definitely wanted to be more focused on giving something to the community than what
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get out of it. Now, profit wise, that comes with education, but I feel like with food, the one factor is, hey, if it tastes good, it tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
And um, try to be modest, but my pizza's like that. Like it just is. Like I've had so many
Period. You
people.
might as
Ex-
well.
Like I've had people like literally when I bought a refrigerator for my business. The people I bought it from were like, and I told them what I was trying to do, and they're like, "All right, you give me two pizzas, I'll give you a discount." I made them two pizzas. 6 months later, they randomly texted me and were like, "Hey, my coworker's birthday's coming up. Can you make pizzas? Yours is her favorite." That was six
mm-hmm.
months that stuck with them because we don't have a door. We're not posted nowhere. They just remembered from the flavor. So, I know that we have an amazing, like a crust that nobody has. Um, that like you get it's kind of a hybrid of a Neapolitan and New York style. Very thin, but nice and crispy. The edge is like a breadstick that'll rival any breadstick. It's buttery, and we top it with a olive oil that's infused with garlic, and that's just the crust. Let alone we got like five different sauces and a bunch of different types of pizza that we roll out. So there's something for everybody and every flavor out there. We're gonna get to the bottom of which ones make sense to make because a lot of them are expensive to make. Um, but like I feel like at the end of the day, if what you do with something well, then people will be willing to have the conversation about, oh, it's so good,
Mm-hmm.
but why is it so expensive? It's like, well, time, and you get what you pay for. And there's a sense where you really do get what you pay for. And I think that'll also help when I, actually get my labeling done and have the ingredients. You look, and you can pronounce every single ingredient. There's nothing on there that sounds crazy.
Where tell us about where can people go? Where can they engage? Where can they? Because you said you're gonna have a soon. You're gonna have where people can taste the pies. So
We're
where
gonna
where
have
should
that.
they go?
That's gonna be a private tasting for now, but where I would say is to follow us on Instagram at Joey Pies Pizza. That's I can. Is there a chat I can drop?
Here I can just type in Joey is IG is
Joey Pies
Joey
Pizza.
Pies Pizza.
That is so awesome.
Yes, it really
So
is. And I mean,
we'll we'll be pulling. It's actually like pie, like the
Yeah.
symbol. So it's
Oh,
PIS.
pie. Let me look
Yeah,
that. Just
I,
P-I?
yeah. I was trying to get the Instagram, and that's I had to kind of work
Wait, wait,
around
wait.
it.
Tell me again. P-I-S?
Yes, PIS,
Okay.
like the symbol, and you see the logo, it'll make more sense.
Okay, got it.
It is making sense because you said it, Joey, and you don't worry about it. It's gonna work
Like
out.
3.14. I say, we attack digestion in 3.14 ways, so that's why it's Joey Pie.
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. I hear you. Looking at this,
For
I
not
would
the
probably
nerds.
say it's Joey P's Pizza.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Although the
but
web
I
when I did the website, I did make it pie, like regular pie, because I figured people would
okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay.
use
Yeah, yeah, because
more fancy.
PIES we call pizza pies.
Uh,
So like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I'm excited for you.
Me too.
Everybody go check out Joey on Instagram and maybe try, I don't know, shoot your shot. Try to be a part of the tasting coming up because they're gonna want feedback. And I think I love the what you call it, bacon take.
Mm-hmm. Bacon take. Yeah, I love that.
I love that
Not
too. I
gonna have
think
a
it's a great way to
storefront when
start.
we open. We just have commercial kitchen space that we rent. So we're gonna make them, freeze them, and then but they're par baked, so you basically finish them in your own oven. And they like I done this they're on the rack. You don't need any special equipment. Just crank your oven to the max temp in like 5 to 7 minutes, depending upon how high your oven goes, and it's gonna come out just like it was out of the shop.
No, it's perfect
I
because
love
as
that.
a parent,
Oh my
you
gosh. I
know,
was about to say that. The way
yeah,
James
we
and
need
I are
that.
eating pizza.
We need that. And
We are
we
looking for feedback on what kind of pizzas people want, and I think it is an excellent way to introduce some nutrition, especially for kids who are very picky. So we're working
Mm-hmm.
on one of the pies we're actually going to do a tasting on is a Roman vegetable pizza, which is fried um, uh, artichoke and zucchini as a topping.
Mm.
So
mm,
it kind of gets past the it's a vegetable, like, so we have some ideas like that, try to, like, get around that, but it's a way to have some better nutrition, but also something that kids will eat pretty easily. I know my nieces and my nephew fight over it whenever I make it for them.
Oh,
okay.
that's
Thank you
good.
so much for joining us, Joey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
All
you, Joey.
right.
Have a good time
Have a
in
good rest of your day.
Cancun.
Thank you,
Yes.
will do.
All
All
right.
righty. That was so
Yeah.
good.
That was so good. And pizza,
Yeah.
I think,
And mm, you
yeah.
know how I feel about that, though. You know how I feel about one, I love when we define what success looks like for us in our business, right? And I think that's really, really key, and I'm glad that he knows it early, right? Like he knows it very early that this is what success looks like for my business. This is what I'm trying to achieve. And I'm willing to exit, like if it's not,
Mm-hmm.
if this, like I'm willing to let it go. Like I'm not what I'm going to double down on is these ingredients are going to be what these ingredients are. Now, if I can't afford to make it, that's a different thing, but I'm not going to compromise my creation so that I can fit into something that I was never meant to fit into. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
And I think like the understanding of the community, right? The
Hmm.
understanding of how we was damaging at people's tummies. The
Yeah.
understanding of like even deciding to for him to decide to do the like bacon take, it says a lot about the understanding of like
Hmm.
community and the understanding of like what's necessary and like knowing where to start. I didn't get to ask him his background fully in business. I
Hmm.
should have asked him that because I think like I also there's something else there about his understanding of business too for him to even decide to start that way. Because a lot of times people do try to start with a whole, they want to just start the brick and mortar right away.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good business move to be like, hey, let's do this way. Let's do it this way. So I'm
Hmm.
excited to
Yeah.
see where he goes.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah, I think
He's
it's
in
gonna be good
Maryland. I
stuff.
might need to take a trip, Joey.
You know what? I should have told him about flavors. There's a culinary group called Flavors,
Mm.
and they help. chefs and people. They have their own commercial kitchen, but they also help chefs to be able to serve. They do education things. They have a community, and
Yes.
they're super dope folks. We've worked with them for different reasons, different ways. Yeah, so we got more people coming up. We got Love Ashley Elaine coming up next.
Mhm.
First, I want to say before we bring her up, I want to just say good morning to all the people out there. Chinny, Maria, Lita, morning crew folks in here.
Good
We got all the
morning.
people joining on Instagram, which is always funny when you try to call out all the names of folks on
Mm-mm.
Instagram.
I appreciate you for trying. I
It,
do. I
I
really
do.
do.
I do try
I really
because
do.
you just Slim D Queen,
Hey,
Lorray
Slimmy.
Infinity, Femme Fatado,
Oh.
um, Ebony Momo, Ebony Mama 4. I'm sorry. C
Mm-mm.
Grayton from My Heart to Yours. I love that. Casey Doggle. Julius D. Lewis. On the Sky 29.
I know that's right.
Ex Maestro Maximus.
Um, see, listen,
Shiv the Coach. Tristy Milan. Bonita Love. Boss Nurses. Young
I
Linda the
love it.
Kid. Young Linda Kid. It is interesting trying to call out the because people really, when they sit down and come up with their IG handles, I
They
know
meant that.
in their minds, like, I'm about to kill them with this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they don't think about the fact that when they're on a live stream and the
hmm
host may have to try to call out their name,
hmm
how we gonna figure that out? I don't know.
Listen,
Um,
but wait a minute on me, because now you starting mess. Because no, cause for real. Because how about the fact that when we be starting these businesses, we come up with names, and we gonna kill them with this
see, you
one.
saying you trying to go there? See,
But
I
then you
wasn't even
can't.
trying to go
But
there.
then
You
you
know.
can't spell it. You can't exit. Can't nobody pronounce it. They can't spell it. They can't. I'm just talking to myself because I did it. I'm not saying nothing that I have not done me myself personally. But as I look back, you know how you like as I look back over the course of my life, I was
Yeah, I
not
think things
thoughtful.
over.
Yeah, I was not thoughtful. But because it's like you don't, and I never understood it when people are like start with the end in mind, because you don't like I when I started my business, I didn't think about what the end was going to look like. Like I didn't think about how the discussion was going to go. I didn't think about other people had to pronounce this. I didn't think about how it would show up on billboards, or you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't think about those types of things. And then when it happened, I was just like, ooh, this is something. But I just wanted to throw that out there since we
No, no, I
talking
think
about
that's
it.
real. I mean, accessomatized.
Listen,
It ain't. Yeah,
it ain't easy.
it ain't
It's
exactly easy
not
to.
easy.
Yeah.
It's not. And my thing is, and it was like, and then it's just like, but then how do you decouple it? Like how do you decouple like 13 years worth of this into something that is more palpable, right? Something that, and not palpable like you need to be able to, I'm big, we're huge, but it's just kind of like if I did want to sell, if I did want to, you know what I'm saying, as my business evolves, right? When you have to think about what that transition will be. um
Yeah, and I think after so many years you don't decouple it. I think you like you
mhm,
said, you just keep it moving. You start Kiki Thunder, which we can pronounce
mhm.
very well. You know what I mean? Like I think that is like also knowing that you're not limited to the first thing that you did or started.
Yeah. Mhm.
That one thing can always branch out into multiple other things. And that, and sometimes, I'm not exactly sure this happened with you, but I think that like when you're so synonymous with your business, sometimes
Mhm.
I be like, we don't care what the name is, y'all. Where's the
Listen,
key at? You know what I'm saying? Because she come to
that's
my
it.
makeup. Like, what
That's
was it? Oh, that
exactly.
was the name of it this whole time. You know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
even
Like,
know. I
I
didn't
didn't even
even
know.
know.
I didn't even
I
know what
didn't
was the
even.
name of it.
I
You
didn't know.
know? that is that I think that we also like rappers confuse us because like they be naming all these things they got, and we be like, but I don't know about that. It's Drake or it's not Drake. I don't know about OVO and how, like, I don't know about all them folks. I don't know about all of what does this owl mean? I don't ask me. I don't can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Now I can go look it up. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got it's like having all these nicknames in a family.
Yeah,
It's like, look, what we buying? Okay, what's the brand? What we
yeah,
doing? Like,
yeah.
so I agree with you though. We don't think about it. You know what else? So this is the way I used to tell people when I was like doing websites and stuff. You want to think about this in the sense that, like, if you were shouting this from a moving bus, you know the scene that they used to have in the old movies where like they sending the person off on the train and the person like outside the train window, like, I love you, I see you later.
Yes.
You know, like that. If that person had to be like, oh yeah, go to my website. If they can do that and the person can be like, got it, you on to something.
Yeah, mine ain't had it.
You know what I'm saying? That's how to think about it. And for people out there, wait, we got to bring up Love Ashley, okay? But I just gotta say this one part. Why y'all got LLC in your IG name? I just don't understand why people put LLC in their IG name or in their social media handle.
Maybe because they
XYZ
couldn't.
LLC.
Maybe
What?
because they couldn't get XYZ by itself, so they had to put the
Uh,
LLC in there,
I
so that
always
way
be
it
so like, ew.
because they couldn't get the XYZ. XYZ was taken, so they had to put XYZ LLC, so that way they could at least get the X and the YZ, and so they put that
But just
LLC on
think
here.
of other words like official or um the real you. I don't know, like the real whoever you are. Or something. I don't know.
They
Put
would
an underscore in there or something. The LLC part be throwing me off every time. Like, don't nobody need to know what your business designation is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just assumed that it's LLC, S Corp, C Corp, or something. Imagine somebody put XYZ C Corp for their Instagram. We'd be looking at them like, this is wild. Like, why would you even do that? Sorry for everybody out there that I'm getting at right now. I mean, do what you gotta do, what you feel is best. I'm just saying that, like, I always be so puzzled. And then it'd be like a long name, LLC. And I'd be like, bruh, why?
because they wanted that name.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna let it
Yeah,
go.
they wanted that
I just be
name.
feeling like, okay. All right. Having said all that.
Yeah, we about to bring up Love Ashley Elaine.
Yes, love Ashley Lane coming to the stage. All right. Welcome.
How are y'all doing? Y'all got me back here cracking up.
Hey, beautiful.
Good. It's so
It's
good to
Uh,
on me.
see you.
It's on me on this good holiday Monday. It's on me. I'm letting you know. Love Ashley Elaine. I am delirious, okay? Because I've been up, I know, for 48 hours. So
You
I'm out
definitely
here.
have. Because when did you land?
We landed we started flying Saturday. When
Yeah.
I got here, it was Sunday.
oh
So I
my.
started flying I got to the airport at 3:30 in the morning. We got to South Korea. It was 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, South
So
Korea.
Yes,
yes.
but the reasons that you there
Listen,
is so great.
I,
I'm
we're gonna get
hoping.
into
Yeah,
it.
I'm crossing my fingers for some Kiki Thunder Korean under eye patches.
listen,
Okay. I'm
listen.
just that's just
I
Okay.
me.
will.
That's
I will support. I'm a under eye patch girl. Yes.
I know. And don't we need ones that have like for pigmented skin? Like I feel like I can't find any good ones.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
we need more things for pigmented skin. We need more things for melanated women. We need more things for the types that we have. We need more things for our moles and our hyperpigmentation and our oily skin, and things that, because I listen, I told them today, I said, how you in the store, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, Love Ashley, because I know you're gonna have something to support this. You know how when you in the store and they'll say, will reduce wrinkles in 10 days, right? And you looking like, how you gonna reduce the wrinkles that I gathered for 47 years in 10 days? That's what
They
kind of
lying. It's a
ingredient
scam.
is in here
That's
that
what
all
I'm
of a sudden I'm
robbing.
gonna be unwrinkled?
Although in Korea, in Asia, you might find that 10-day remedy because they
But
don't
it's
play
Mm.
about
not
their skin.
right, but that's because but it's been lifelong. Like this is a lifelong process for them. This isn't something
Yeah.
that you've done, but we get into that. Hey girl, what's going
Okay,
on?
speaking of needing more things, I think that's a great segue. Speaking of industries that need more things, Ashley Elaine is an intervention strategist, emerging maternal and child health researcher, a program designer with over 20 years of experience advancing trauma-informed, equity-centered systems for children, families, and early childhood professionals. She is working on building a public health methodology that assists maternal and early childhood systems in assessing their readiness to implement programs and interventions that will sustainably and equitably that will be sustainable and equitable, not just a band-aid. So I'm interested in like what made you start to move into this place around child research, maternal and child research, health research.
Yeah, so outside of like being a mom, my son just turned 13 last year.
Yay.
But outside of just my journey as a mother, working in the mental and behavioral health industry, period, I've worked with pregnant teenage moms. I've worked with moms who lost children to gun violence. I've worked with in early childhood. I've worked with families who have children that are on the spectrum, adult children that needed DDD services. So I took a minute to like step back, and then I'm a yoga teacher, so I've just seen people, right? I've seen and witnessed and held space for people in so many capacities, in so many different ways, that I just got to a point where it's like, okay, there's so much that people experience, especially in as a mother, but even realizing and knowing that everything starts from maternal and child health, right? If mom's not good, baby's not good. If we don't give mom what she needs mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, resources, right, then the baby doesn't get what they need. And then now we're creating a lifelong trajectory of inequity in
Mm.
access to those services and what they need to be sustainable. So, looking at all the programs that I've worked for, partnered with, have helped build, create, grassroots, all of these things, I just took a step back and like really said to myself, looking at my experience also, I was out on 3 mental health leaves because no one at those jobs helped me stabilize for the work that I needed to do. So I had to stabilize myself, right? I had to find a way to take care of myself. And then looking at it from like my yoga teacher lens, it's like, okay, we're always saying that people need to regulate, people need to stabilize, people need to ground. But why are these programs, why are these organizations not doing it with themselves in their infrastructure, taking care of their people, making sure that that the programs that they do build, the bottleneck isn't solely dependent on one person, because then that's burnout, that's stress, that's barrier infrastructure that is not stable. And then when those programs are implemented, now we're just implementing it because we need the grant money, right? We just want to do the program.
Mm.
This is my hard work, so I just want to do it. But it's like, I love that this is your hard work. We also need to make sure that your hard work is serving the right people and that it's sustainable, right? We don't want any more programs that are just here today, gone tomorrow. And we don't want any more programs that are doing all this amazing work, but the way that they're tracking their data, they don't have it to be able to get more grant funding or to be able to use as marketing, right? To be able to say, this is what we did in our pilot, and this is what worked. This is how we can help you, and be able to speak directly to the people. We don't need any more organizations that are doing it because they want to do it and not really listening to the people that they're serving and taking that feedback and looping it into their system so that they're constantly creating and generating the service and really helping the people and giving back to the people the way they need to. Because when you keep having those cracks in the infrastructure, that's where inequity starts to creep in, right? And we can see
Mhm.
that across time. Look at the maternal and child health field now. Black women are still the rising race of mortality and morbidity. Why? Because the beginning of time of the infrastructure was designed to just serve but not really look at, okay, what do black women need that's different from what white women need in terms of health, in terms of communication, in terms of mental health, right? All of these different things. So I created, I'm getting it trademarked soon, y'all. So if you're out there listening,
And don't feel like you gotta share nothing if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Like don't feel like you
yeah,
gotta share the name. You can
You
just
can be
say,
creating
"I
something
created
good.
a methodology."
Yes,
Leave it
I'm
like
yes,
that.
creating something
okay.
amazing.
Perfect. Thank you. Because I'm like, how do I share this without sharing it? Because it's still in like we're moving into trademark. But I created a methodology that, well, let me start here. In implementation science, I'm getting a little nerdy here, but in implementation science, we always move to let's just implement the program, right? We never look at evaluating the structure before we implement the program. And then we always look at evaluating the program at the end, right? So we always just go to, okay, I want to plant the seed. I'm just going to plant the seed. And then we're always like the process evaluation is we're always checking the seed. How is it doing? Does it need more water? Does it need to have more fertilizer? What does it need? Right. And then once it blooms, then we evaluate and say, it didn't bloom the way it should have because da 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 da. We can avoid a lot of that if we check the soil first. And the
Is what
methodology,
do you do you think that so when it comes to children and families though, because I think like
Mhm.
I need to break it down to understand like what would be the soil, right? So like
mhm,
which part would be which part. I think like that's easier when it's a more like defined science experiment. A lot of this is
right.
experimentation. But what would be the soil? Are we talking about like their environment? Are we talking about nurture? Are we talking about like, tell me more. I mean, because I agree with you and I love the breakdown. One, because I
Hmm.
like practical breakdowns and I feel like we all need that.
Yeah.
But because I firmly believe that building a business, you talking about building a methodology, but in general, I believe that building a business is a science experiment.
Hmm.
And I've taught this to people in different ways where you have hypotheses. Ooh, I think this thing will work. You have your variables, you have your constants, and you have these things you're going to try.
Yeah.
And you're going to figure out like which thing is going to work, and until you figure out the formula essentially for what makes your business work.
Hmm.
Um, in building a methodology, because I think that I'm also wanting to have this conversation because I feel like there's a lot of us out there who have businesses don't even know we got actual methodologies that could be sold, packaged, licensed. When we think about what somebody's quote stealing from us, some of it is them stealing the fact that they see a methodology in what we're doing and we don't see it yet.
Yeah.
And then they're going,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Actually, let me just take this. One example is the "Let Them" poem. I don't know if y'all know the story about the whole Mel Robbins and the "Let Them" poem. So this woman that actually was one of her students or something like that, I think, or like in some way, shape, or form, she wrote this poem called "Let Them," and then Mel Robbins knew it. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like they just coincidentally had done the same thing. No, Mel Robbins knew this. I want to say she was like her student, but I don't misquote me on that. And but the poem I think also went fairly viral. Like people knew about the poem. And then Mel Robbins goes and launched this whole book, a whole methodology around the let them theory, right? Bestseller author sells the book out, doing her thing. And the girl's like, hey, you know that came from this. So now I think there may be some lawsuit allegations things happening with that, but it's one of those things where maybe the girl only saw it as a poem or didn't see herself with even the means to say this could be an actual theory. It could be an
Yeah.
actual, like, this is psychologically bigger than this artistic moment that I had. And what she's saying in the poem is exactly what the Mel Robbins quote theory is built on, which is interesting. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's why I'm saying I want you to, as you're thinking about building a methodology, talking to us about, like, what does that mean? What does that look like? So I love your example of the seed and soil, going back to that. And like, oh, how are we thinking about what we created?
Yeah.
And for you, this sort of monster of inequitable programs that have been created, and you're saying, hey, there's a better way to do this.
Yeah. So the soil is the program, right? The organization, the system itself, right? So, for example, there's two different like vetting ways for this. So, for example, right now I'm looking at how the early childhood system, early intervention stops at age 3, right? And then they transition into the school district. There's a gap between early intervention and the school district, which is like Medicaid, Medicaid Part C and Medicaid Part B. A lot of families end up getting lost in this gap, transitioning from early intervention into the school district. Why? Because the system that's in place isn't meant just for early intervention. They're managing literally ages 3 all the way up to 21. So if we're looking at, okay, the beginning stages of life, right? Kids, we all know in early childhood well, I'm not going to assume we all know, but in early childhood development up to age 5, that 0 to 5 brain development is crucial, right? If they need services, we want to make sure that they're still getting what they need. But when children have to transition out of services at age 3, more so to like age 2.5, which is when they start doing the evaluation to move them, families get lost. There's a gap. They fall right through the crack. And the children that are falling through the gap are Black and brown children. So they're not getting what they need. And then once they get into kindergarten, and I had my own experience with this with my son, it's a whole nother ball game. Now there's other behavioral challenges, and now parents are having to fight and say, well, we've been waiting on evaluation, we've been waiting on this. School districts also have a certain amount of time that they have to respond, and school districts are like, there's with Medicaid and within the district, they can be flagged red for not doing that on time, right? If they have enough children that are signaled to move into their school district and they don't do their evaluations on time, now for that calendar year, they haven't met their quota. They're flagged, right? They can get
So
into.
wait, because I think I'm getting lost. So so you're talking, and I'm trying to think about my own experience too, right? So I think I'm trying to figure this out, because I'm also trying to figure out what group of people we're talking about exactly. So are we talking about people who just get Medicare, or are we talking about people who like have kids in general on whatever healthcare, or are we talking about like a certain pool of people? Because I think I'm thinking about this.
We're talking about.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We're talking about kids in general, right? So it's sorry, because I could get a little like heady with this. So
No. It's
what
just that
regulation readiness?
I just want to make sure I understand what we're talking about, because I've been on both sides of it, in the sense that like the parent who had a Medicare, Medicaid, not Medicare. We have Medicaid. I don't know if it's called different things in other places, but for kids that I know of, it's called Medicaid. Medicare usually for older people, but I don't know what all. I'll just leave that loose. Been on Medicaid, you know, social services, all that, Section 8. Kids go to daycare, we daycare voucher. They go from daycare, go into kindergarten, going to kindergarten, you know what I'm saying? We still on Medicaid. I've also had it where my kid, we were not on, I had, when I wasn't on any type of public assistance or anything. But, and so I'm trying to understand what evaluations you're talking about and
Mhm.
um, what we're talking about, because I think like what is, because that also brings me into like what programs are we talking about? So because I think that like I feel like one experience you're talking about sounds like it's about a like Medicaid experience, but I don't, because I don't know unless you're just talking. Are you talking about like I-ready assessments or like intellectual assessments that have to do with like their learning, or are you talking about like what other, I don't know if I understand. So I'm trying to
So
make
no,
sure.
you're
What
no, you're fine.
evaluations are we talking about?
Yeah, so these evaluations that I'm speaking of are like early intervention for ages for 3 year olds, for infants and toddlers to get early intervention, right? So what
So
regulation readiness.
what signals that you need an intervention?
If a child is like having developmental delays, behavioral challenges, if they're like in preschool and their fine motor skills are not, where they need to be for their age development, right? There's
Okay,
like
got it.
within that developmental range, there's a lot of different things that there's like milestones, right, that your child has to meet. And if they're not meeting them, it doesn't necessarily mean they're significantly delayed, but you can get an evaluation for your child to be able to see maybe they need more fine motor skill therapy, or maybe they need speech therapy, or maybe they are on the spectrum and you can't really pin it, and then you can get an evaluation for that. So in terms of like
So
those
that gives
children.
us a targeted audience, because I think you said all
Right.
children, and I was trying to figure out like where's the, that was what was confusing me. We're talking about it, but when there's a signal that somebody
Mm-hmm.
recognizes that there needs to be early childhood intervention. We have kids who enter into this, they're supposed to enter into a rhythm of evaluations over the course of
Right.
time that move them, and insurance, because I'm hearing you say Medicaid, Medicare
Mm-hmm.
is a part of this, right? And
Right.
so there's money here as well. So when it comes to having state level capital tied up into this somewhere, these evaluations are also money marks. I just making that clear on how this whole thing works too, which I feel like
Yeah.
the capitalism of it all. But some of these marks are also tied to that as well, to the capital that the
Mm-hmm.
school may get, or the capital that is that how to keep justifying that they need more Medicaid from the government, like they need the federal government to give them more things. And then so in voting, because voting is we're coming into
Harvest.
election season. This is an election year in different ways, and definitely in the fall, we need people voting. We need people voting, not definitely in the fall. Wherever it's time to vote, I don't care if you voting on the color of the local flag. We need you voting. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever, exercise your right. And so I wanted to also say that what you're developing is
Mm-hmm.
so necessary and so big, because people don't even realize how many levels of life it relates to.
Yeah.
It's not a silo of like, oh, my kid ain't need no intervention. It's over there. You know what I mean? Like, no. It's not in a silo of like, oh, well, that was like, oh, that's what be happening in healthcare. No. Like, we don't have the luxury to dismiss the need for more trauma informed care, for
Yeah.
more methodologies in healthcare. We don't have the luxury of being like, that's over there, because everything is on the ballot. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's all
Mm-hmm.
tied to finances. And it's all
Yeah.
tied to development of children, development of healthcare, and it's all tied to local safety.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes people don't understand all those things are tied together. So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. I just wanted to bring that part of it out too.
No, you're fine. So where my methodology, the beginning of it would come in is we would partner with the school district and look at one, where are they failing basically, like where are those cracks in them getting those children properly transitioned? Is it their workforce, right? Do they not have enough people on staff? Is it like something within the bottleneck of how they communicate with that other organization that has those 3 year olds that are ready to transition, right? What's the fracture there? So what it does is it looks at the fractures in their system, right? The that particular school district system and how they get those children transitioned over to them. And we look at them and we say, okay, this is where your fractures are. In order for you to stay out of the red and not continuing to have this fracture be so large, this is what needs to be done, right? We go through their documentation of how they're documenting this, like what are the parents' feedback? Are they taking those feedbacks into consideration? What is their executive leadership board look like, right? And who's making the decisions? Because that's another thing. If you have too many people making decisions, then nobody's making a decision.
Mm,
Nobody's able to really speak to how we need to get these children transitioned. um, the bottom line of it all is if the infrastructure of how the organization, right, and again, organization, program, school district, I mean it's large. It could be up to like a hospital, right? If
mm,
how their infrastructure is built is not already equity based, right? Meaning they already are working from a place of equity, not trying to make equity their outcome of whatever it is that they produce. Then that's where we start seeing people fall through the cracks. That's where we start seeing these
mm,
children fall through the cracks. So what my organization, what my firm would come in and do is we would do for 4 weeks, do our evaluation, our intensive evaluation. We would meet with them like a lot of FaceTime, right? Because I need them to know that we're serious about making sure you have what you need and you service who you need. This isn't just the behind the scenes, we click and clack and do, everything on our end. Like this is a real conversation about where your program is liable to fall through the crack. And if you've already ran this program and not seeing it move the way you want it to, well, let's start back at the beginning. What does your infrastructure look like?
mm. How can people find out more about you or more about this? What should they do?
Yeah, so my
Or what do
what's
you need? Like, are you needing people
what
to know more about it? Are you needing to, if anybody out there is in education, like, what are you needing?
right now, I need people to go to my website and find me and learn more about what this methodology is, especially if you are looking to build a program. Like again, I love the hard work. I know we all have a purpose and we want to put that back into the community, but let's make sure we do it in a way that is going to be sustainable and build legacy and be able to change not just the lives of the people that are here with us today, but the people that are coming after us, the children that are coming after us. I just got chills. So my website is ashleyelaine.me, and that's ASHLEIE.me. And then you can find me on Instagram at Love Ashley Elaine. I'm on Facebook, Love Ashley Elaine. I'm on LinkedIn, Love Ashley Elaine. I keep it consistent so people can find me.
So good.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I think thank you so much for sharing what
Yes.
you're working
Take
on.
care.
I think it's interesting. You said this a couple times, and I'm wondering what you mean by this. Hold on, let me try to put this up here, child, because the Ashley is getting me. I'm trying to make sure I do it right. EIE.
My parents
Um,
wanted me to be different and I succeeded.
You are so very beautifully
I
different.
got it.
Yes,
And
gorgeous.
people should get it right. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. Let me just make sure I get it right. That's it.
Yes.
Um You said I love your hard work. You said that a couple times. When we say things like that, it's because we seen something. What do you mean by that? Are you meaning people, you know what I mean? Like, what
Mm-mm.
do we, are you meaning people just like starting programs because they want to go do a good job, but they're not doing a good evaluation? Like, what are you seeing that's making you say that?
I think, and just also from personal experience, right? We've all like tried and failed, and that's the fail part is always the learning part. But I see a lot of times, especially in where I'm in Jersey, a lot of people have the heart to create change, which is beautiful, right? We all have our traumas, we all have our things that we go through, and we want to take that and alchemize it and turn it into something for the community because we know there's other people out there that are going through the same thing, suffering in the same way that we may have, and we want to, help them through that. The hard work is beautiful, and we want to make sure that if we're building a program, if we're going to put time, energy, and effort into building something, planting something into our communities, I want to make sure that people do it. I don't want to say right, but do it in a way to where it lasts longer than them because
Mm.
we're yeah, like I said, we're all here for a reason and a purpose, and I don't believe that we just go through things and endure traumas and all of those things just because. I believe it's one to help us learn more about ourselves, but also to transmute it and help somebody else, right? But the way we help somebody else, let's make it a little bit more firm, make it a little bit more structured, right? So turning that hard work into something that is sustainable and that can last longer than our own time and generation.
That's
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We appreciate that.
beautiful.
All right. Y'all
Thank
check her
you.
out.
You're
Ashley
welcome.
Elaine. That's Ashley EIE Elaine.
Mm-mm.
Go and check her out. Make sure you do that. All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for joining
Thank
us.
you.
you,
Thank you for
gorgeous.
sharing. All right. Have a
Thank you.
good
Have
day.
a good one.
All
You
right.
too.
You know what I think about? It's funny because we were talking about a naming thing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What I think about names because we used to
Mm-hmm.
do this in poetry. Just for anybody out there who like if your name is not spelled in the way that people traditionally know it, or maybe you've come up with a program or a company name, we usually come up with a rhyme or some type of thing. So like when people go, "What's your name?" and I go, "Owe me," they like it always gets them. They don't know what to think. I say, "Owe me like you owe me money." It's like, and I'm like, yeah, that way you never forget it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
easy. So I think Joey's pies, Joey gonna have to know what that is. Like Joey, that says Joey P is pizza to everybody. Like, that's it. That trying to get people to know that it's the pie, like pie symbol. That's gonna be a little hard on IG. Joey P is
Mm-hmm.
pizza is so great. We got that. And that could be Joey Pies is pizza. You know
It
what I'm
could,
saying?
yeah.
Like
But you know
you
what though? You have to, I think this is the key though. And I think it's also about running these things by other people, like as you go through the
mm,
process. Because like you going through that just now, I'm like, oh my God, Joey P is pizza. Right? Like, and it's just like that's kind of neat, right? And it could be Joey Pies, you know what I mean? But it was just
mm-hmm,
it's just so dope. But I think having an opportunity to start like running these, like, you know what I mean, like having this tribe of people that you're running things by, to kind of like, how does this land on your ear, how does this hit you in your heart, like how do you feel when when you read this, or when you hear this, or when I say this, like what resonates with you, what do you immediately think about? And I don't think we do that enough, especially when we're starting, because part of it is regarding something that we are trying to bring to light. And then also, it is then you're in it, right? So it's just like I guarded it so much and now it's here and I already threw it out there. So now what, right? So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
mhm.
Wise counsel will keep you will help a lot. Wise
Yeah.
counsel, like making sure that you let people in to a certain extent. And it could be, and sometimes you don't even, it don't have to be that you got to give away. Cause I think some people are so worried about like, I don't want to tell nobody because they might steal my yada, yada, yada. You know, like that part may be keeping you small, maybe keeping you from opportunity. Because you need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't none of us out here building, ain't nobody on the planet building nothing by themselves for real. Right. Like you might say by myself, but somebody was in doing something with you. So whether it was a kid, whether we know what I mean, like somebody is helping, and it's okay. You got it. Like wise counsel is literally everything.
Right. But I think Omi, I think one of the challenges is one, do we know what wise counsel is? So that's number one, right? Do you know what wise counsel is? And two, are you willing to accept when wise counsel does show up in counsels? Because wise counsel different. Like wise counsel, they listen, okay? They counsel different. They serve in a different way. And my thing is, and it's neither here nor there for wise counsel. Like they're kind of like, I told you. Like this is you came to me, I gave it to you, and I told you. And they're gonna be there to support you, right? You know what I mean? Like counsel you as you go through it. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, they're not gonna hold your hand. And you know what I'm saying? They're gonna give it to you. Well, at least my wise counsel, right? My wise counsel sometimes chops me in the throat. I put it out there. Sometimes my wise counsel, sometimes I've been wise counsel, so counseled hard that I couldn't speak to that person for a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to get myself together, so I had to get quiet for a little bit to get my nerves regulated. Okay, because they counsel me so hard. I'm just telling you what my wise counsel did. But I also am hard head. I said it. So if anybody was looking for a hard head friend, hello.
So I think yes. And and some people, there's been time I've stopped. I'm not doing this now, and that's part of the reason why I don't really coach a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm opening up. I'm gonna open up a cohort soon because people ask me all the time, "Do you coach? Do you mentor? Do you?" I'm gonna open up a cohort soon. I'll let y'all know when it drops, so y'all can go and get signed up. But because I do want to offer up as much of what I've learned. And I don't have all the answers, but I do want to offer up as much much of what I've learned as possible. And I think that's what you're doing with teaching, right? Like you're deciding to open up as much as you've learned and can share with people, right? And I want to do that too, because I think it's so important. And I'm called to. That's another thing. Everybody's not called to do that work of like teaching and open it up. But like there's certain people that I want to coach the people who are like, yo, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out by any means necessary. I'm trying to find a trusted person to share with because I really want to figure it out. Those people are the people I can make the most successful. You really want to figure it out? I got you. And I ain't even saying it got to be me. If I got to call Takia, if I got to call 5 friends, if I got to make some connections because you're trying to figure it out, I'm here to help you freaking figure it out. And then there's some people where you got to be honest with yourself, where you're like, I want to make money, but I ain't really trying to listen to nobody to help me figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, just be honest with yourself. Like, don't go into these situations where you going to combat everything the person telling you, the person that you're talking to is telling you. And, I heard people say, like, stop asking people who don't have the success that you're looking for kind of thing. And I think, like, take that with a grain of salt, too, because, I mean, like, success you're looking for might be 10 times bigger than the person you're talking to. However, there's something to learn from everybody, right? And I'm not saying you need to go pay some guru $10,000 to be a cheerleader. I'm not saying that either, right? So be mindful of all these, like, you need to join a group. Like, be mindful of that and learning about what group you actually need to join for what you actually needing. First,
I agree.
Thing is, what do you need? We all needed something. Free right on that. That's why I said to her, what are you needing? Because maybe you need an inroad to a school system, right? Somebody out there watching right now is on somebody's school board, while they in the school system, they somebody's principal, teacher, whatever, they out of school today, they watching, right? What are you actually needing in your business or in whatever you're trying to create? And being clear on that and then going after that. And yeah, you're going to run up against some things that don't make you feel comfortable, that you might not even initially agree with because you like, nah, I see it like this, But I think, I don't know. Here's what I say. I think, nah, this might not be fair to say, but I think it feels different when for me, let me speak personally. When it's, oh, they just don't get me advice, it felt different from I feel uncomfortable and I don't want to agree with that advice. Right. So let me try to explain that.
I got it back. I got it back, girl. You was out of here for a second.
Oh, I was out, you didn't hear me?
I, yeah, my spirit was like I was sitting here like, wait, where'd she go at? But I mean, go ahead. So go ahead. Where you was going? Go ahead. I'm listening.
What I was saying was in taking advice,
Yes.
there's places where people feel like, oh, they just don't get me. They don't understand what I'm doing.
Yes. Right.
So they
Right.
can't give me no advice, or their advice they're giving me is wrong because they don't understand what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
That they don't understand what I'm doing advice to me felt different, or they don't believe in me advice felt different from I'm uncomfortable because I don't really want to listen to that advice. It felt I could feel the difference in between the two, and at some point I had to come to terms with I just don't want to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, the thing about it is, I think it's that though on me. Like I think, and it's nothing wrong with I don't want to listen right now. But then my thing is stop seeking to hear then. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just like if you don't want to listen, just stop
Stop
seeking to,
asking.
like it's
And
fine.
people don't. Why do people do that?
Well, because innately you know that you need help. Like I need to talk to, so you
Mm.
know it. And then you are also with people who are like, well, you probably need to find something. You know what I mean? Like ask somebody to help you with that. But it's just kind of like I haven't gotten, and it could be a number of things, right? It could be trauma. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Like I have reached out to people. I have asked for help, and I got bad, advice. You know what I'm saying? I lost
Mm.
more than I wanted to lose. Somebody did, I did share too much and they ran with my idea. You know what I'm saying? Like I do have some hurts and so that's like your inner healing, right? That you have to do. But I think it's again, and we talk about it all the time, entrepreneurship is you dealing with yourself. Like we think it's about like running a business and handling the world and dealing with customers and manufacturers. And no, the biggest epiphanies I've had in my life have been through entrepreneurship, and it was about me. It had nothing to do with the business, was just how I got to it. Like what I'm doing is for me to get through it, right? And so I think people have to understand that it's not just about you growing a business. You're growing yourself. Like this is a growth in yourself that is exponential. The things that you learn about who you are as a human in entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
it's just like, oh my God, it's like you have to learn vulnerability in a way that allows you to still be a boss, if that makes sense. Like you have to
Yeah.
learn how to be vulnerable and still lead, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like a weird dance. It's like you're dancing with somebody who can't dance, but y'all look good together. And so like y'all net like y'all look real good together, but y'all ain't dancing right. Like you just out here. Like please don't let him hit me in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like don't
Yeah.
he gonna step on my toe. Watch this. Watch this. And that's entrepreneurship every day of the week, all the time.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's real. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a Our last guest for today. She is here. Her name is Amina Sako.
Amina
She's
is
the founder and
here.
CEO of Karama, a compatibility driven childcare platform connecting families and caregivers in a more personal and intentional way.
Oh,
After 12 years of working as a nanny in New York City, she experienced firsthand how outdated the systems were, and so she decided to do that. If she in LA, I need her literally this week. So we we need to figure that out. We need to talk
I
about
need
it.
to connect
Uh,
now.
right.
Now.
I need somebody for this next weekend coming up. Okay, help us sister out. You know what's interesting about the shows is how aligned the guests end up being without us even knowing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
like for those watching, you watching the 30-day show. This is the BGV edition. If you've been following me for the past few months, you saw the 30-day show that I did before, and we decided to bring it to BGV channels. And I'm here
Mm-hmm.
with my good friend, co-host Takia Ross,
Hey, hey.
who's also a business owner, business expert. And we so every day, so what we do with the 30-day shows, we just throw the link out to an audience. Whoever signs up first. We're not scouting talent. We don't define who shows up. And it's one of the most powerful things about the show, I think, is because I know you're tired, like I'm tired, of hearing from every celebrity on the planet about every idea they got, thought they got, which don't pertain to us. I don't know how many celebrities could just keep getting interviewed about whatever. It's like I need to hear from real people doing real things, building real things. I want to discover businesses near
Mm-hmm.
me. And so is we put the link out, and there's 3 slots a day for the 30-day window, and the slots booked up literally within 30 minutes, every single slot. And so I'm excited to always be bringing these. So hopefully near you, you learn about a new business near you. You learn about something that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about. And we're
Mm-hmm.
really, Takia and I are really giving back in just straight up business conversation as well. So we just helping y'all understand what's going on. And being real and authentic about it too.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting from a divine standpoint, I think, of how the shows end up aligning themselves with the guests, and we didn't even try to. So today, Joey came in and talked about his like growing up experience around like eating pies, and he was our first guest. And he's developing a better for you pizza brand
Mm-hmm.
called Joey Pies. Joey P is pizza on Instagram. You can go check that out. And then we had Ashley Elaine, who came on and
Mm-hmm.
talked to us about children, childhood
Mm-hmm.
development, program development, and how to create program evaluations around having great programs and building enrichment
Mm-hmm.
for children. And now here we go, coming to the stage. We
Amina.
got Amina, who's going to talk to us about this childcare app that she founded. I clearly need. So I'm excited to bring her to the stage. Welcome, Amina. How are
Hi, hi,
you?
Ami. Hi, Takia. How are you? Thank you
Hi.
for
Good.
having me.
How are you,
Yeah.
beautiful?
I'm good. Thank you so
Good.
much. You guys are
Good.
also
Oh,
beautiful.
oh, girl, so are you.
So
Don't
are
get
you in
me
LA?
excited.
That's my first question, child. Because I
No, I'm
need.
in New York.
Oh Lord, can you send me
We're gonna come to
somebody?
LA soon. I'm in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, like I've been working as a nanny in New York City for the past 12, 13 years. And I got all of my jobs on like the care.com, Sitter Cities, mostly job sites. I worked in different households all over the city, and I've worked for like, like really like big households with like a multitude of staff, and I was in charge of hiring these cooks, co-nannies and stuff like that, babysitters, date nights, and while still taking care of the kids. And that's when I realized, it's not just a problem for the caregivers who have to apply to hundreds of jobs just to get like one response. It's also a problem for the families as well, because they put out job posts on these job boards, and they just get like literally hundreds of people applying, which are amazing caregivers. But how do you really determine who is a right fit for your family? And
For
really,
sure.
yeah, and really, after working in households, different households for the past 12 years, I realized that while experience, location, pay, hours are incredibly important, we're really missing a factor of personal compatibility, right? Like a caregiver might look amazing on paper, but does she fit into your household? Do they fit into your household? Do they understand maybe the childcare philosophies that you like to use? Do they share the same values? Do they share the same interests with your kids? How can this caregiver um, maximize her skills to really contribute to the growth of your child? And that's sort of our thesis that we're testing, that let's treat childcare like dating and not just a job, because again, these caregivers are are basically like an extension of your family, right? There are families that I've worked with 5 years ago, and I still talk to the kids and they still call me.
Mm.
So that's when I decided to build Karama. I didn't know how to code. And I sort of had to learn a lot over the past 2 years, building a team, sort of leading that. And as you were saying, like being a founder or starting something, it's really a personal growth experience.
Hmm.
And I have matured so much over the course of the time that I founded the company and starting building and etc. So I'll just tell you how it works. We basically work like a dating app. So we allow families to post pictures of themselves, of their kids, what they're looking for beyond childcare. And also we allow the caregivers to post pictures of themselves showing skills. Are they artsy? Are they athletic? Who are they beyond childcare? And we're sort of like matching them based on not just like I'm looking for a job, but can we be partners in really raising and enriching these child or children? But yeah, so that's just
That's so good.
a
I'm
Mm.
little
so
bit.
excited. Listen, I mean, the girl. Let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you why I'm so excited. Okay, number one, I'm excited because my friend, my good girlfriend over there on me. She's looking for, so hey, she's looking for an
Yeah.
amazing a nanny support
Hmm.
person.
Yeah.
For my boo thing. Now listen. I don't want to have to cut you. You know what I mean? Because you talking about my okay,
Yeah.
but. But I mean, my godmother is a nanny, and
Yeah.
she's been a
Mm.
nanny for the past. Um, I think now she had a daycare center, then she turned into a
Hmm.
nanny.
Hmm.
So it's been about 30 years at this point that she's been
Yeah.
in like childcare,
Hmm.
and her family. When I tell you, they moved from Maryland across the country and would not leave without her.
Yeah.
And that's when you say it's an extension of your family.
Mhm.
Like they moved
Yeah.
her from Maryland. They were just like, no,
Yeah.
nobody else.
Yeah.
This is it.
Hmm.
You come with us. And so it's so amazing that you're creating an opportunity for families and
Yeah.
caregivers to really take a moment to say, you know what? What are we doing? Like
Yeah.
how do we choose this? So as you were putting this together, Amina, share with us some of the key things that you want for your caregivers. Like, if I'm looking to like,
Hmm.
why should I come to this amazing app
Yeah.
to search for these amazing caregivers for my children?
So, so I right now we're obviously in the early stages. I'm interviewing hundreds of nannies. Like I am physically like talking to them and vetting
Yeah.
them to make sure that they fit our sort of ethos and philosophy. We have and speaking to them, they are amazing people, right? I'm speaking to anywhere from college students who have like seven siblings to like who's like literally was like pushed into this childcare role without really knowing it, and then they ended up falling in love with it, to older nannies who've been with families and raised kids for like again like 30, 40 years. And I just think for us, we're more so quality over quantity.
Mm,
If you look at the marketplaces now, it's just like Craigslist, right? But with us, it's like number one, we really automate your hiring experience while adding a personal touch to it.
Mm.
So as I mentioned, we are like a dating app. So we recommend caregivers and families who sort of align with you, not just professionally, but compatibility wise. For example, I'm a Muslim, and if I had kids like older, I would like want them to learn how to pray. So I would hire a nanny who was a Muslim who would say, "Hey, it's time to pray.
Mm.
Get up and pray," right? And really sort of reinforce my ethos. Again, as I mentioned, we are an extension of the families. So that's just on the family side. We bring immense value to sort of match you with the right caregiver. And also on the caregiver side, we care about the caregivers, right? Because obviously I'm a caregiver and I understand like how it feels when other platforms sort of neglect caregiver situations. Like I have spoken to caregivers that was like, I have honestly been in unsafe situations in these homes of the people that I have taken care of. However, when I do speak to the large incumbents, they don't really do anything about it because they're so demand facing. So we are sort of also there and trying to create a very balanced platform for where both families and caregivers can feel can feel heard, and also really switching the hiring process into something more intentional, right? And really eliminating the booking culture. Like if a caregiver works for a family, she gives her whole heart out, right? Like I grew up in the Bronx and I take care of kids, and the kids like literally came to my house and we've spent time totally unpaid, right? Like, and it's like I would like literally like you know what I mean? So it's like we are really on the emotional side of things and not it just being like a corporate job, because again, we are raising, we're like coming together to raise the next generation. And my goal is to raise
Mm.
the next generation of amazing kids that grow up to be like great adults. So
You know why I
yeah.
love this? Okay. One note that I want to make is there's a difference between like a sitter and a caregiver. And you
Yeah.
using the language caregiver,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting because initially when I read what it was, when I saw care, it made me think about more like senior care or home health care. I didn't think of kids because when we say caregiver nowadays, it's
Mm-hmm.
more people talking about adult caregiving
Yeah.
or being a caregiver in that way. And it's funny because it originated, I think, more from like kids.
Yeah, it did.
I got a nanny story. So I was a nanny
Oh,
for a
Period.
little bit, and I worked for a woman who specialized in twins. Now,
Yeah.
first of all, that lady shouldn't hire me. Let me just be clear. I don't know. I think I must have talked a good game because I need to make some extra money right quick. But you know what I liked? I loved the like 3-year-olds. I did an overnight stay with some 3-year-olds. Fun. I loved it. It was so fun. They were so. I taught them like how to go up and down the stairs. We had us a good old time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But trying to stay overnight with some babies, honey, some twin babies. I was like, let me get it. What is happening?
Oh.
And then I learned a lot about how people were in this world because I grew up in North Carolina and I had a lot of family. So you had daycare,
Mm-hmm.
plus you went to your aunt, cousin, sister, mom,
Mm-hmm.
whatever house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you went to somebody
Yep.
in your family's house after school. That's what we did. They went to our great aunt's house after school. All the kids, we walked home, or your mom on the way to work, she dropped you off at your aunt house. My aunt
Yeah.
worked third shift. So she was getting home from work. She'd take us out of school.
Yeah.
We had that.
Mm-hmm.
But in raising my kids, I didn't grow up where I didn't live where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't necessarily have that
Yeah.
support system. Right. And so trying to figure out like what does that look like? Because even when I was doing nanny, when I was a nanny for those one set of twins, the mom would be home.
Yeah.
And so I think another thing is like people recognizing that needing help in this way isn't necessarily related to
Yeah.
you got to go to work. It ain't even necessarily
Mm-hmm.
related to that, right? This is an extension of like care. This is a support system all the way around, and then you do, put a dish in the dishwasher or clean this, like little stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I wasn't primarily a house cleaner, but you do things to like straighten
Yeah.
up, make sure the container is safe for the children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I began to value when I started to see it. I started to value it more. And then in my own story, when I think about like where I am now with Skylar, I value it more now too. And so I just want to speak to the value part a little bit
Yeah.
around like some of us have been conditioned around get a sitter,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there's levels to this where we're talking about caregiving. And I
Yeah.
think that's the hard part of me. I'm new to LA, trying to find somebody on like care.com or
Mhm.
Sitter City is because I'm just like, and they out here they have urban sitters
Yeah.
too, but because I'm like, I don't know these people. How do I really know if I should leave my kid with you overnight in the next three
Yeah.
days? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that part is challenging.
Yeah, I think definitely like trust is the first thing that comes to sort of finding the right caregiver, and also really understanding what kind of caregiver you have depending on how old your child is, right? So if you have a younger child, maybe you would go for a more nurturing caregiver. Not necessarily older, but like we see, like I'm in New York and you see like a lot of like infants to like maybe toddlers really have younger caregivers. Obviously, background check is extremely important. But if this is like your first time, maybe you might want to have like if you're gonna leave them, maybe you might want to have cameras. You might want to like really have the speak to the caregiver and feel extremely comfortable. I find
Mm.
that one thing that really helps families feel comfortable in that case is sort of having a trial, right? Having the caregiver there while you maybe not necessarily travel out of LA, maybe you're maybe working outside of your house, and really sort of test the waters before you full on commit to to a dedicated caregiver. The good and bad thing is that once you're stuck with a caregiver, is like you don't want her to leave. You're
Right.
like my
Right.
I completely bootstrapped this business on my nanny salary, and obviously the kids know what I'm
Mm.
doing. And I have three kids, two boys and a girl. Like they're not my kids, but like that's like, again, to testify to like sort of the relationship. And they're like, I recently got married, and just like, you can't get pregnant until I go to college. I'm like, and the little one was like, yeah, me too. And I'm like,
Because like you can't have any kids competing with us. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're the
because
kids. We're the
right, we
yeah, they're
are
kids.
like,
your
we're the kids,
kids.
because
Why do you need
obviously they know
anybody
that like
else?
once I and it's so funny because they're 7 and 5. So, and I guess like one of the kids in his school, his nanny had to leave. So, and then he was like obviously talking about it. So he was like, wait, my nanny just got married. What's going on? Am I next? So that's like, so it's sort of just like it's like finding a partner, right? If you're lucky enough, you find a caregiver that is going to last with you throughout the entirety of your kids. Like, again, I know caregivers who's raised 3 4 kids easily, and they're just there. And so I'd say like really talk to them, making sure that you guys are aligned on a lot of things, and a sort of a friendship needs to be there, and a partnership.
Yeah.
My boss calls me her third partner. um but so like that's like sort of what it is, and being open and very transparent, I think, is very like important as well, and communication is paramount. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
are you fully launched in New York? Where should people?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we're fully launched. We just onboarded our 150th caregiver.
Wow,
So yeah. Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
So
amazing.
good.
Karma
Thank you.
Care, Karamacare
Yeah,
dot
Karamacare.
com. So make
Um,
sure y'all go check it out. Make sure you go check out Karamacare.com.
that's so
You know,
bomb.
We're
yes.
available in the app stores on iOS, not on Android yet, but we're in the app stores. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. No, this is great.
This is great. Congratulations, Amina. You're
Thank
Karamacare.com.
definitely
you.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So
Thank you.
when I come to New York, if I need somebody, I'm
For
gonna have to reach
sure.
out.
For
Okay.
sure. Hit me up. Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good
good.
rest of your
Have a
day.
good
Okay,
one.
bye.
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 That was so good.
That was good. And I
Yeah.
love the way, I really love the way she's lighting up about
Oh, she loves
the
it.
care. You know what I mean? Like
She loves it.
yeah, yeah. I love that. That's so good. We need
Hmm.
that.
Oh,
Well,
yes,
I
we
know
do.
it's what 11 p.m. over there for you.
Yes, it's 11:38
So,
p.m.
oh ma'am, you gonna be able to do this all week.
Listen,
You're gonna
you see
be
me. Mm.
oh, yeah, okay. So take a nap during the day then if you can. You know
Well,
what's interesting?
listen.
Go
Hmm.
ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I actually like being like 12, 13 hours difference
Hmm.
more than I like the 3, 4 hour difference.
Really?
I did because I feel like I'm just living on a whole different timeline versus like trying to figure versus like time moving so close, and you're like, dang, this jet lag is crazy. Then when you come back, the jet lag is still gonna be crazy. So please allow for that, ma'am. But
Yeah, I am gonna allow for the I'm allowed for the crazy jet lag, but I cannot wait to share. I'm excited to be here, and so the excitement of it all, and like the meetings and like really learning, because this is like one of those trips where it's about learning. Like I do get a little extra kimchi, you know what I mean, some Korean fried chicken, but in reality it's really uh taking a hard look at the business landscape and learning about how these markets are really really running. And I hope that if anybody is watching, or if anybody's thinking about taking that trip to go into another country to see how they do business, or to visit with your manufacturer, or to set up a meeting with somebody, do it.
no,
Do it.
absolutely. And you know, you get some discoveries where you go, this is why we so behind in the US, right? You start
Oh,
looking around, you be like, why aren't we thinking like this? So I think like I'm excited for what for the advancements that you're gonna find just day to day while you out there.
oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
Thank
eye
you,
opening.
friend.
So
Thank you, friend. And
I'm
we'll be
I'm
back here
excited to hear
tomorrow.
about it. That's right. We'll be back here tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm Omi Bell, my co-host Takia Ross, and it's the 30 Day Show. We'll see y'all same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. All right.
Tomorrow.
Everybody have a happy holiday and celebrate. Thank somebody in the service who served our country. And yeah, we're gonna roll out. I want to take a nap now too, so we're gonna